And I go and he's like, well, where's your towel? And I'm like, I don't have one. So he gives me a dirty sock. And
What?
Yes. And I'm using Dave's sock to fix my nosebleed. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
Today, our topic is, what do you put in your bag? I know that a lot of people, they've never played a tournament and they're going to go off to play their first tournament. They don't know exactly what to bring. It can be a little overwhelming and daunting. Like, how much stuff do you really need? Sometimes less is more, but actually not in this case. I think with people playing longer, sometimes the heat, the cold, there's all kinds of elements, let alone items that you didn't think of. You should have a check. For me, I have a checklist, and I want to talk about all these things that would help you and what Neil brings and how we go to our tournaments and what we expect to have with us that we don't forget, right?
And that does happen. I mean,
it does.
You're going to forget things.
More often than not.
Having a checklist is an easy solution, yet I don't do that, so I probably should.
I do.
Smart.
But I know once you do it a couple times, you kind of figure out, what you should be putting in it. But I think it's really important you're already going to be stressed when you go to a tournament, because you don't know what to expect, or there's pressure and you're nervous. So I think having more things that you need when the situation arises, like a cut or, we can go into all that, but just so you have stuff to rely on, that you're not like panicked more than you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
So a couple things in my tournament bag, it's super important to bring, for me, more than like one paddle. I have like 5 or 6, and that sounds ridiculous maybe to some people, like, oh, I only have one paddle. Isn't that good enough? But if you start playing some sanctioned tournaments like APP, the paddles out there right now, as you can talk about, are so hot, and they're cutting back on some of these paddles that are playing like at warp speed that can really hurt somebody. That's a whole nother subject matter. But there's so many paddles now that they're saying, okay, this one doesn't get approved. So what do you do if you're bringing like one paddle to a tournament and it breaks, it cracks, or they're not approving it? And then you're like, okay, now what do I do? So always bring more. That's my thing.
Yeah, I typically bring about 3. Mm-hmm. 3 are in my bag just in case, It's all about comfort too. And just that security kind of in your head, okay, I have backups just in case. You never know what's going to happen.
It's true. And so also another thing that people maybe don't think about is shoes. So I try to bring a relatively new pair of shoes, but I'm not going to bring a brand new pair because I don't want to have blisters or, sometimes
It's got to be worn in.
Yeah, it has to be a little worn in, but not terrible. And so I think having shoes that are a little worn in, but kind of new, that you're familiar with. I know that sometimes if I change a shoe midstream, and I try a different shoe, I'm in trouble. Like that hurts, that messes up my knees. I don't know what that is, but you're used to a certain shoe. I tend to buy a bunch of the same, so I'm not mixing and matching along the way. Balls. So I bring whatever the tournament is using. I try to find out, like, different tournaments are bringing in different balls. So I always show up with the balls that the tournament are going to use.
The same exact ones, just to be ready and know the same feel over and over and
yes.
over. Yeah,
so when I warm up, sometimes you're scrambling to find a ball and you need that time to warm up. And so I always bring a couple balls in my bag of what we're actually using for the tournament, hopefully that I can practice with if I can't find one.
Same.
You do? All right.
Yep.
What do you think about clothing? Like, what do you bring when you...
Everyone's so different in clothing. I'm the ultra picky guy, and I don't like dry fit really too much. I like the tri-blend soft t-shirt, the stuff that I'm probably mowing the lawn in. I like that. Yeah. It does get sweaty quicker than other shirts, but I'll bring about 3 to 4 per day just to have, and that usually does well for me.
Do you sweat like a pig?
No.
You just feel like a sense of security that you're bringing more.
Yeah, I just like that softness, and my skin is it can get irritated pretty easily with the other stuff, the dry fits or the polyesters. It's just me, though.
Yeah, I get it. I was at a tournament in Punta Gorda, and it was, it's Florida. You think it's going to be warm, and it was like they had a cold spell that weekend. And so I had to wear my down jacket. Like I wore that, and
Your Wisconsin jacket?
Yeah, my Wisconsin jacket, because it was so cold. And luckily I had it. So I bring layers. I bring shorts and sweatpants. I bring numerous shirts. Sometimes if you're planning on winning the tournament, which I think everybody goes into the tournament thinking they're going to try to win it. Why bother if you don't? But you want to feel like you're wearing a different shirt sometimes after a long match that's you're feeling so gross in. And it makes you feel fresher. I think sometimes when I wear a new shirt. How are you on hats? I know you're a big hat guy.
Yes, I am a hat guy. I like, for some reason, I'm kind of fixated on the number 3. I like to bring 3 shirts.
That's my favorite number.
It's a good number.
It's my favorite number.
When I thought I was going to be an NBA pro.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, typical boy growing up. I was going to be pro.
Those are big dreams.
I shot a lot of threes. I was the mad bomber.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But going back, three hats typically was the number that I'd go for. After each match, I'd probably switch. Typically, I would switch because it kind of
gets
gross. So I might go to the bathroom and just wash it.
Oh, wow.
Especially in the hot conditions. Yeah.
3 hats.
3 hats. Hats that absorb sweat well, or kind of like the marathon runner hat. Those really light hats.
Yeah, the runner hats.
You don't even know that they're on you. Those are the hats I liked.
Yeah. I think it's super important to bring eyewear. Like, I prefer sunglasses when I'm outside. It's tough for me to wear indoor glasses, but I'm going to force myself.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sunglasses
for sure.
Sunglasses, it took time, but I developed a little bit better depth perception when I'm playing with sunglasses. The indoor glasses, I'm still trying to find that right, perfect fit.
But it's the right thing to do now. It's getting so aggressive, and it's not so much the ball coming at you. It's I notice it's off the players, your partners.
Oh, partners paddles.
Yeah, all the time.
Ricochets. Yep.
All the time. I would say having electrolytes is key. Lots of water. Lots of water. Electrolytes, and good ones. I'm real persnickety about my electrolytes. I either will make my own with like sea salt and lime, like lemon juice, or I'll do something that doesn't have natural flavors or artificial flavors, or sugar cane's the first ingredient, or
corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
No, that's not good.
I grew up on Kool-Aid. I don't know about you, and we did just fine, but still, I don't know. It's changing. I think people that sunscreen's a whole thing. If you're playing in a tournament outside, I prefer to do like a natural sunscreen, like zinc, stuff like that. I'm not super, being as fair as I am, I'm not as really good about sunscreen as I should be, but I do wear a hat.
You're more specific on a lot of those items, and I'm thinking, as you're saying that, I'm thinking, when I hydrate, it's usually vitamin water or Gatorade or something that whatever's there.
Well,
whatever's within arm's reach.
That.
And then, as far as sunscreen, which my wife can tell you that I am horrible at. I have to be reminded like a little kid. I'm a kid.
I am too. I know.
Sunscreen, copper tone, the basics one, the ones that you can find at the grocery store. SPF, 40 or 50 somewhere.
Yeah, you sweat off in like 5 seconds.
Yes.
Some people bring, I don't, but K-tape, whatever.
Kinesiology.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes, thank you. I'm struggling.
I didn't know what you were trying to say.
I know,
I had no idea.
But yeah, that's good to have, I guess. You're not looking to get hurt, but if God forbid you get some sort of issue, you can just slap some tape on it, and I think it helps hold you in place. Is that what it's for? I'm allergic to that glue.
Okay.
I'm so.
I usually have a knee brace.
That's another thing. A knee brace.
Yeah. I guess a sleeve.
A sleeve.
Not knee brace. Not like RoboCop.
Knee brace is good to have.
I just hated myself. RoboCop. Long. Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good.
Back to the path.
Back to the path. I'm thinking some people bring massage guns and rollers.
I'm sure.
I travel light. I know that they make small little massage guns that you can put in your bag, which is great. But I tend to get lazy, and I don't even really stretch. That sounds horrible, but I think if I started to stretch, I would probably ruin myself. You're either a stretcher or you're not.
You're so right. I'm not a stretcher. I just get right on the court and play. I know that's probably not recommended.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
But motion stretches are better for you. That are more like you're moving while you're stretching versus the stagnant stretches. But we're getting outside of the bag situation. But I think what about music? You see a lot of players always have their headphones on, like they're playing their song to get them hyped up. Do you do that?
Oh,
You do at tournaments? You do that?
Yeah. Yep.
Is there something in particular you like to listen to?
You know, something that really gets my heart rate going, just by
listening?
Oh my God.
What?
It almost warms me up in a sense. Like, I am so focused when I hear Rage Against the Machine.
Oh my gosh.
Or even heavy metal from like late 80s, early 90s.
Like Metallica?
Metallica, Guns N' Roses.
Iron Maiden?
No, not Skid Row.
Oh my gosh, dark.
There's another one.
Okay.
Cinderella.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know that's kind of
all right.
Cinderella.
I had you more of like a
hip hop.
Yeah, like Tupac.
Tupac's on that playlist.
Okay.
But to really get focused and just like almost angry, but it gets me focused.
Yeah, jacked up.
Yeah, jacked up.
Yeah,
Rage Against the Machine all day long.
Mine's Brick House by the Commodores.
Sweet. So it's almost nostalgia anyway, right?
It is. It's
like,
true.
Rage isn't
I need
big right
energy.
Now.
Yeah, it's energy and it's focusing you. So sometimes it might be a good idea to make a playlist just to kind of.
Sure.
And you know, there's a lot of downtime in tournaments, right? So you could play around and you win or you lose, it doesn't matter. And now you're sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're waiting for like half hour, 45 minutes.
That downtime can be a killer sometimes.
And you're all jacked up and then you crash and then you got to bring yourself back up again. So music is a great tool to have.
Is that when you put on the Kenny Rogers and get
right. I think also making sure, like I always have a charger in my bag because I don't know, like if you go to an APP tournament, they're telling you what court you're going to be going on your phone. So you have to really make sure you pay attention to your phone.
Right.
Because they're sending you out. And if you are late to the party, you're getting penalized, whether it be...
having your phone all charged up, that'd be nerve-wracking if it wasn't, and then you can't find an outlet.
Yes.
You don't want to put any extra stress on yourself.
That's what it's about, not having
stress-free.
Stress. Also, breathe right strips. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
No, I know. I'm just thinking like gum. Like I'm a big gum chewer. I have nervous energy when I play, and I think I just always shove gum in. It gets me into a rhythm.
Yeah. You're active. Your mouth is active. Yeah, I get gum.
Yeah, I love gum. Gum's a winner.
But I don't like to play in a tournament on the court with gum in my. But I'll chew it constantly. Then when it's time to play, trash.
I like it when I'm playing.
It just goes to show you everyone's different, you know.
It's true.
You got to find yourself and figure out what calms the nerves, what gets you ready to play.
Yeah.
What gets you excited to play.
And focused.
And focused, yeah.
Okay, but I have a story. So this is really important that is obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me for a long time. I would go out on the court and I would play and I wouldn't always bring a towel. And that's a normal thing to bring is a towel. And I'm in a match with Dave Weinbach at the Chicago Open. I have a big forehand, so I went for a big swing and I hit my nose with my paddle. Okay, I start bleeding profusely on the court on camera and Dave looks at me like somebody came up behind me and hit me and I'm bleeding. I'm like, time out to the ref. And I go and he's like, well, where's your towel? And I'm like, I don't have one. So he gives me a dirty sock. And
what?
Yes. And I'm using Dave's sock to fix my nosebleed. From that day, you know, that never happened again.
A dirty sock.
But
this is the first time hearing this.
It's Dave's dirty sock. Yeah. It's not even my own.
It's someone else's sock.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm just saying, always bring a towel. Don't go through what I had to go through. That was horrible.
Did that cause any trauma about socks in general? Or
no, I moved through it, but I always brought a towel next time I played. And that's important. You don't think. Like, you know, it's so obvious you should bring a towel, but I just didn't think. So my checklist obviously wasn't in play then.
Yeah, I bring a couple towels. Yeah. A couple towels with me in the bag. Not only for just sweat, but the hand or the grip of the paddle. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll just wipe that off. This was at the U.S. Open a couple years back where it was extremely humid, as U.S. Opens in Naples, Florida typically are. But I found something that I think it was made by Gamma. It was a sticky towel. It was like yellowish sticky towel. Yeah. And it had a serious amount of tack on it. And you just...
Like a microfiber?
Like a microfiber towel, but it was really sticky. Yeah. And the sticky didn't go away. It was tacky. So I just, it's made for putting it on your grip and it leaves that residue on there where it's really sticky. And I said sticky like a lot.
Just now?
Just now. Anyways, it's really good for the grip and it worked. It worked. I felt like I was not worried about, you know, my grip.
Some people like that goop. You know, they bring goop and you put it on your hands so you can grip the paddle better so you're not sweating as much. Right. That doesn't work for me. I don't like that. That's just my it's all personal, you know, choice. Mm-hmm. But I guess what we're trying to say is that like have Tylenol or aspirin or have Band-Aids. I was at a tournament where I went for a shot and my foot went one way and my shoe went the other, and I got a blister the size of Texas on the bottom of my foot. Well, now I have to finish the match and go on to the next round. Like, what am I,
And it's going to test your resilience.
Oh my gosh.
Focus, huh?
I was so jacked up that it didn't matter because my adrenaline kept me going. But I took off my shoe and I almost, so I guess think about all that. Dave Sock. I should have. But yeah, I just think you have all your bases covered before you go into these tournaments, that you're not so nervous, and you'll be in good shape. At least you don't have to worry about, like, I didn't have this.
Right. Make a checklist.
Make a checklist, yes.
Hydration, first aid, towels, shirts, your paddle
extra
ready,
paddles,
grips, maybe some extra grips in case your grip is wearing down.
Sunscreen, lip protector.
Yeah.
All of that. And if you're playing indoor, obviously you don't have to deal with the elements, but we both encourage you to wear eyewear. I think eyewear is really important.
Yep.
It just takes getting used to. And I think more and more people are trending to start wearing it now because you see those horror stories online of people's eyes being pummeled. You're
not going to get the checklist right every time. I mean, it's you kind of grow with it.
Yeah,
right?
You do.
You know, you add a little bit here and there. I forgot this item. Next time I add it. And just have a tournament checklist.
That's so good. Let's go. If you learned something or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it.
Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.